Well, hey garden friends, it's Destry. Welcome back to my greenhouse today here in my Oregon yard. Today I'm going to be talking about what seeds I'm starting now that it's March here in Zone 8B. I've got my seed starting calendar. I've got my box of seeds. I've got lots of seedlings to plant and pot up. So today I'll give you a tour of everything I've got going so far and talk about what I'm planting next. So I have started sowing seeds basically in January, and I sowed things like Lysianthus, things that take longer to grow. And at this point, I got a lot. I got a lot of seedlings. I've got a lot of pots everywhere. My husband's giving me the side eye. And, you know, that's just part of growing plants if you're a person who wants to start seeds. And as you get more experience with starting seeds, I feel like every year I up my game a little bit. So right now, I'm kind of drowning in seedlings. I've got a lot of plants going on, so I will definitely give you a tour today of everything that I've got growing. But now is where I really want to, now is crunch time, right? It's March. You can see my calendar for March is totally filled up with things I'm going to be starting. And so it's time to think about what seeds I have left to start, and it's time to go. We got to go. So if you don't know how to start your seed calendar, I have a different video on this, a couple of them actually. This is just a really pretty wall calendar, and it's what I use to, do my sticky notes. I read the back of all my seed packets, and then I set up when I'm going to start everything in little, starter pots, and then eventually pot up to larger pots. And so what I want to do is kind of take inventory today of like what I've already started and then what I need to start growing now. And I thought I would just kind of take you along for that ride. Also, my rule is if I'm going to start more seeds, I have to pot up. So otherwise I end up with leggy seedlings and all these seedlings that don't have room to grow. So today I'm going to be potting up some things as well. My calendar, things that I have for March are things that take 8 to 10 and 8 to 10 weeks. Things like snapdragons, which I'm actually a little ahead. I've already sowed both apple blossom and apricot snapdragons. Things that take 6 to 8 weeks, like strawflower, which again, I'm a little ahead. I've already sowed some strawflower. Things like poppies, which I did the winter sowing method. Again, I have videos on that as well. So I checked on my jugs just today, and I'll have to show you, but I have quite a few poppies coming up. So I'm excited for that. So I think I'm going to skip sowing the poppies indoors and just do the winter sowing for those. So I've got a frosted salmon, a black swan, and a lilac poppy that I've already got going. And what I do want to start, what is kind of next on my list here is Gomphrena. So Gomphrena takes 6 to 8 weeks, and I have started some of the white, but that's the only one I did. So I want to start some more Gomphrena today. I have one called Strawberry Fields. I'm super excited to start. Other things on my list here for March are things like cress, which I don't think I've started that one yet. I have done the white Orlea, which that one I've sowed, and I do have some plants, although my germination was kind of so I might sow more of those. I'll have to look. And then status is also on here, which I have not done any of my status yet, and that's 5 to 6 weeks. Things like Canterbury bells. I did some winter sowing jugs of these, but I'd like to do some inside as well because I just love these as cut flowers. Also Scabiosa. I have not done any Scabiosa seedlings yet. And then I do have on here a second sowing of stock, which I did do. So I have a lot of stock seedlings, but I also did a second succession sowing of stock, and those are not quite ready to pot up. So the thing I love about this sticky note method is I can like move things around. So like my stock, I already did that. I can put that back up here. I've already taken care of it, and that leaves room for some other things. So usually about now in my calendar is where I kind of do a little assessment, see what I've sown, see what I have next, left to sow, kind of move things around and come up with a game plan. My box here, I love my little box of seeds. It's been really nice. So one thing that's on my list, let's see, status. Let's see, the first one I said it was Gomphrena. So I'm gonna look for my Gomphrena. And I don't have these, I actually do have them organized pretty well. So I've got a mixed gomphrena here. So I'm gonna get that sown tonight. This beautiful strawberry fields, I'm gonna get that sown tonight. And I think those are my only two. I've got my Canterbury bills, so I've got those out. And then I have some more room on my seeds starting. So next up would be Status or Scabiosa. So let me look here. I do have, let's see, I do have a Scabiosa here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that sown. And I have some Status here. This is from Johnny's. It's a Status mix, so I'll go ahead and get that sown. And then I do have 2 bachelor's buttons here. So this is the kind of stuff I do. I'm like, well, what about the bachelor's buttons? So I got to look on my calendar. I think that's going to come next. Oh yeah, it's further down. So that one only takes 4 to 6 weeks. So I have that in my April calendar. But again, I can move that around. If I decide to go ahead and sow that tonight, I can just move that sticky note up to March. But technically, I don't need to start that one yet. I don't want to get too excited. Also, my celosia, I have that for April as well. And then things like zinnias, right? Those are later to sow. Now, another thing I could start sowing this month are pumpkins. Pumpkins are also pretty quick though, so I might wait for April for those. And I mean, technically you could just direct seed them, but I do like to start them up ahead of time. So I think on the bachelor's button, I think I'm gonna wait on that. And then the celosias in here, I'm gonna wait on that. I could do another succession sowing of snapdragons. So that's another thing. I do have some snaps started, but I could do another, another of that. I do have this basil. This is from Floret. This is a really pretty purple basil, and I grew this last year. So I kind of want to sow a few more of these. So I'm going to set these out as a potential. And then let me look through my snapdragons here. So I have a couple snapdragons I did last year. Last year I grew this really pretty black prince. So again, I could grow these 2 varieties. I also grew this variety. I could grow these again, but I have also sown some new snapdragons, so I think I'm good on that. And then, like I said, I have a bunch of different squash and pumpkins. I think I'm going to wait on those. So let me just kind of look in here and see if there's anything else that comes to mind that I might want to sow right now. One thing that you can definitely sow early are peppers. I got these as a freebie, and so I kind of had an idea, since I don't really like peppers, and my family definitely doesn't eat them. I have some seeds. Oh, the dogs are barking. I have some seeds in here that I don't think I'm going to use. So what I was thinking about doing is actually putting them on the flower stand as like freebies. That way I can share them with my friends and neighbors. Like, I don't really think I want to grow carrots. Maybe, but maybe not. I feel like I've been there, done that. So I might just put those on the flower stand. I thought that would be a really fun way to just like share seed packets. I also thought I might do like a little bulletin board that says like, take one, leave one. So if other people had seeds they wanted to like, I don't know, donate or whatever, or swap, I thought that would be kind of fun. That is going to be what I'm going to do for tonight. That is plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on sowing these seeds. All right, so I've got all my seeds here I'm going to be starting tonight, and I was just reading the backs of these to kind of see planting instructions here. And so I think since I have the most of the gomphrena, I'm going to start with the gomphrena. So I like to fill my tray with my seed starting mix and then just kind of drop it like that. I don't want it to settle too much. And then this does say 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch deep, indoors 6 to 8 weeks before last frost, or direct sow. Pre-soak seeds for 24 to 48 hours. Uh-oh, I didn't do that. Oh no. Okay, well, shoot. Darn it, I guess I'm doing these tomorrow night. Bummer. Okay, word to the wise, you guys. You got to soak your gomphrena. Didn't know. That's why you should read your packets ahead of time. Okay, let's go Scabiosa. Barely cover as light aids in germination. This one says cold stratification for 2 weeks will improve I can't say that word tonight, germination, but I am not doing that. So darn it, I should have done that with this too. I should have put these in the fridge. You know, I really should read my seed packets, but I just get so excited. Look at these, you guys. Aren't these cool? So these are the Scabiosa, and it said maybe lightly cover. Now you could cover it with like vermiculite. I just don't have any vermiculite that I like. So I'm not going to cover these. I'm just going to lightly just tamp them in, and then I will spray them down. I might go ahead and sow like 2 seeds per cell, just because there's plenty of them, and then I won't have to do 2 trays here. And the seeds are nice and big so I can see them well. And I am using a pre-moistened seed starting mix for this. Okay, these ones I'm not going to be able to do. I did those. And then let's go ahead and do this status. This one says 5 to 6 weeks before planting, light aids in germination, cover enough to hold seeds in place. So this one again, I'm not going to cover. So these are status seeds. Really tiny, guys. Very, very tiny. Sometimes, I know it's kind of gross, but I like lick my finger, and then that helps it just stick like just enough. I know, gross, but you know, I do what works here. Okay, and then next up, I have the basil and the Canterbury bells. Honestly, I feel like I just call these bluebells. And I think I collected some of these too. I'll have to look later. So this is a seed packet that's from, I used it for winter sowing. So I have some in the winter sowing, but I noticed they were not up. So I was a little disappointed. Oh boy, this one's gonna be hard. Trying to only do 2 a cell here, but these are really tiny. I also want to, on the flower stand this year, I want to put up, like I was talking about, I want to put up a bulletin board, and I want to, and again, these are just ideas, but I was thinking about, you know, every time I put up bouquets, actually making a list of everything that's in that bouquet, because I think people would find that really interesting to see, you know, the names of the flowers. So I'm going to collect some seeds from this year because I'm running out, you know, so if I want to continue to grow this one, that's something to think about for this next year. If I can get some plants, you know, collect some seeds, because these are going to be a few years old too. So these are some of the seeds I've collected in the past. So it looks like I do have the Dark Night Scabiosa. So you can see that is what those look like. So it was the same as the one I sowed tonight. Here's some Cosmos seeds, and I don't have any Cosmos going, so I might sow some of these tonight. And here are the blue, what I had as bluebells, the campanula. So just to kind of show you what this looks like, you can see all those little seeds just from, again, just from collecting the seed heads. So now these are a couple years old, but you know, I bought new ones this year, so I'm going to use the new ones, but it's good to know I have these. All right, so we've got some potting up to do tonight. I have some straw flower. That is straw flower there. And then this is also straw flower. So I'm doing those for my, for dried flowers. I've got more snapdragons. These are in ivory. You can see even my cells are getting a little dry here. I've been neglecting my seedlings because I've been working all the time. I've got my dianthus here, and then I have 2 trays of lisianthus. So this one here, and you can see some of them are just still so small. This trays are looking a little bit better, but I think they are ready to pot up. I was looking at the root system, and the roots are already down to the bottom. And the other thing is it will give me a little bit more room on my seed starting shelf. I am going to try to keep these little ones here, but I mean, some of these, they're probably not going to germinate. So it will give me more room. I have one shelf in particular where I have the light really close to the seedlings, and I need to, you know, get going and plant some more things. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot all of this up tonight and, you know, keep working on my seedlings. It's a big commitment. I'm doing a lot of seed starting this season, but I do want to, you know, take care. If I'm going to grow them from seed, I need to do the next step, which is the potting up. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera and get going. So I'm going to start tonight with the Lisianthus. I'm running out of nursery pots. In fact, I just hopped on Amazon and had to order some more 4-inchers, but I wanted to share this with you because it's kind of fun to see, you know, what they look like when you pull them out of here. So I'm going to just make a little spot here with my little mini trowel. And then these are so dry, I feel bad. I've checked them. I've been checking them, you know, regularly, but man, I shouldn't have let them get this dry. All right, there's the root system on that. So you can kind of see, even though it's a tiny plant, those roots need nutrients, and they need more room to grow here. I haven't had too much trouble with the Lisianthus getting, you know, mold or mildew on the top though. Like these look pretty clean, but I am having trouble keeping them kind of watered and just happy. So I think, oh no, I think that potting them up is going to be good, and, you know, giving them more of a chance to grow on a little bit. Now, if you don't know about Lisianthus, they're a super slow growing flower, but they're a beautiful cut flower. And so I'm very excited to, you know, at least even have this many. But then I was looking through my seeds, and if you're anything like me and you do seed starting, I was looking through my seeds and I realized I have a whole nother package of them that I never started. And I was so mad at myself because the seeds are very expensive. They are pelleted seeds. This is a nice big one here. Let's see what we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and start them tonight, but I'm pretty late. Look at that root. That's really nice. Found a whole nother pack. So I'm just gonna start them tonight. It's late in the game, but that's okay. We're just gonna use those seeds that we have and that we spent money on. So, all right, those are looking really good. I'm just gonna set them aside. And I know that some of these are gonna look so tiny in this big container, but I think this is what needs to happen for these to grow on some more. So these are the ones I found that I haven't even planted up yet. You can see there's, I think actually this might have been the variety I did. Maybe I didn't do them all or something, because I thought I had only purchased, these are the black pearl. I thought I had only purchased one type of Lisianthus this year, but I could be wrong. So I'll have to look back at my videos and, I don't know, look back at my notes, I guess. I'm trying to separate these. Oh, I should have watered these before I'm doing this. Let me go ahead and move on to snapdragons now. These are also a little dry, which it's not bad to let them dry a little bit between waterings, but you can also see how extensive the roots are, so they really need a place of their own. In fact, some of these bigger ones I might put in the bigger pots. All right, so next up we're going to work on these straw flowers. This one just says double, so I'll have to look at the tag again. Straw flower king. And same thing with these, I'm going to separate them as much as possible and pot them up. So what I like to do is just do a quick count, because then that tells me how many pots approximately I'm going to need. So I'll do a quick count of these. I'll go ahead and gather up the pots and then fill as many as I can in the workspace that I have, which honestly is pretty small. And then I will just take my little trowel, my little baby trowel, and pull these out. And go ahead and separate them out. And, you know, I might lose one or two if they, perhaps, but actually I've had really, really good luck. So let's get going on this straw flower. Actually, part of the reason I opened the flower stand, if you look back at the first video of that, I just had a table set out on the side of the road and part of the reason I did that was to sell some of my seedling plants, and that actually went really well, and I think this year it'll go even better if I decide to do that. Now that's not totally the plan. I just want to have, you know, my cut flower garden be pretty substantial this year if I'm selling the cut flowers, which is more of my plan. So another thing I'm going to do to save some space is use one of the actual bottom, you know, water troughs of my seed starting thing as a tray to plant in. I did this for some snapdragons too, and it seems to be working really well. So I just kind of make some little mini rows here. And then if they're really small still, I can still get them up potted, but I can, you know, conserve some space and do it this way. All right, well, here is what I have going on. I planted up some lisianthus. I still have more trays to do, especially of these snapdragons. I'm going to try to get these done tonight. And then over here are all the straw flowers that I planted up tonight so far. I still have another tray to do. And then over here, I've got the snapdragons that I did a few days ago. They're doing really, really well. Also some of the spider plants. And these are the lisianthus that I planted up tonight. So it's pretty impressive when you see them kind of spread out like that. So hopefully I'll get a lot of really beautiful flowers. I've got my spiders. I've got my cuttings of my fuchsia as well that are doing awesome. And then this is my first sowing of the stalk flowers that I'm doing, but I noticed these are getting a little dry, so I probably need to grab a watering can. It's late in the evening, so I'm not gonna probably water them tonight. I'll probably come out and do it first thing in the morning. And then these are my geranium cuttings, and these also need to be potted up in much bigger pots, but you can see how well they're doing. I have a different video on that. I'll try to find that and link it, but you can also search it here in my channel. I'll probably have it under the seed starting playlist. This is my teeny tiny potting station. It's ridiculous how small it is. All right, these are my other straw flowers I need to do. And these are the ranunculus corms and how they're progressing. You can see a few are starting to emerge, but there'll be more to come. And I'm excited for how those will develop. All right, well, here is what I started up tonight. I did 2 trays of the status. I did one of the Canterbury bells, a scabiosa, trying to remember everything, guys. Some cosmos, and the basil, the purple basil. And then these 2 gomphrena, I'm gonna soak these. It says for 24 hours, so I'm gonna start them up tonight. I'll do 2 bowls of these and soak these, and then I'll come out tomorrow evening and get those 2 planted up. So now I just gotta make sure I have room for all of this on my grow shelves. All right, garden friends, well, I hope you enjoyed checking out seeing what I am seed starting for March here in Zone 8B, the different things I'm potting up in my greenhouse, and just the different things I'm pre-sprouting. I hope that it is fun for you to watch and that you learned something. So be sure to stick around to the channel so you can see updates on all these seedlings as I get these planted in the ground. I'll be trying some little mini greenhouses to get things out even earlier in my garden, so you definitely want to stick around. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It would really mean the world to me. And if you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you next time. Bye.